Hey everyone, this is your boy EnlightenedJiku here. We're going to be talking about the Captain Marvel movie. In addition to that, we'll talk about some Easter eggs within the movie itself, and we'll actually talk a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit about Avengers Endgame and some of the theories that I've been hearing. Now, to start, don't expect this movie to be as hype as Infinity War. This is not the intention of the movie. It was more of just an introduction for Captain Marvel. This movie was a great movie. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I had a lot of skepticism walking into the movie theater, but this was a great movie, and definitely, in addition to that, an ode to all of us '90 kids. Now, between the different songs that they played throughout the movie, and at that, blockbuster. I mean, what kid has not had some VHS still in their house, probably to this day, from Blockbuster that just was not paid for? Now, this movie is about a woman named Carol Danvers, known pretty much until about halfway through the movie simply as just Vers. Carol starts off with the Kree, working under the Supreme Intelligence and being trained under Young-Rog. Now, Young-Rog, he's pretty vicious. He's actually the commander of the Helion and one of Captain Marvel's best enemies. The movie takes a turn when Captain Marvel realizes she's actually in the middle of a war between two alien races, and the life and the memories that she has in her head are actually being fabricated by the Supreme Intelligence and the Kree themselves. Now, Captain Marvel and Nick Fury make this a very funny yet satisfying introduction of a new hero, and actually, hopefully the savior of our heroes today. Now, the two races of villains. Well, I'm gonna call them villains because both of them are villains. Were the Kree and the Skrull. Now, if you've seen if you've seen or read anything about the Skrull, or if you just seen the movie and you know a little bit about the Skrull, you're probably disappointed in how they brought them out. They made the Skrull like they were really weren't anything, like they weren't a threat at all. Now, if you aren't familiar with the Skrulls, I'll kind of get into like a brief explanation of them now, and then we'll kind of continue on from there. The Skrulls were introduced back in Fantastic Four, Volume 1 and 2, dating back all the way to about 1962. They're a race of aliens that can shapeshift, and normally when they, land on a planet, their jobs are to pretty much just blend in and eventually take over that planet. Now, if you are a comic buff like myself, you probably remember, and I'm super hyped, and hopefully that they make a movie about this later on. But Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion is a comic where there's pretty much a planetary invasion by the Skrulls, and what they do is they transform into every single hero and villain on the planet and attack and plan on taking over the planet. Now, in the movie, the Skrulls start off as bad guys. Then, about halfway through, the movie takes a turn, probably for the best, to be honest. The Skrull and Captain Marvel end up actually teaming up and fight the Kree. I'm not going to ruin the rest of the movie for you. You guys probably will want to see it, but the movie is definitely worth the 10-15 bucks that you're probably going to pay for in the movie theaters to see it with a bunch of random people here. Now, the movie does talk about a few things. It talks about how Captain Marvel gains her powers. We'll also get to see the Tesseract, aka the Space Stone, and how Fury loses his eye. Now, I suggest if you haven't seen the movie yet, you're probably going to want to stop the video here. I'm going to spoil a couple of different things and also get into some Easter eggs about this movie. Now, one thing I did notice is in the movie, they showed no sign of weakness within Captain Marvel. Now, the thing about her binary mode, and if you don't know what binary mode is pretty much when she transformed and had that like aura coming out of her body. She's like glowing and whatnot. That's her binary mode. Now the thing about that is, while she's in that mode, she can pretty much absorb energy at will, and at that redistribute it and fuck shit up. Of course. Now, the thing about it is, let's put her toe to toe with Thanos. Let's let them fight back and forth for a little bit. Thanos got that, because Thanos, all he needs to do is just give her the hands. If no energy is projected onto her, she's at her base level. And that's a huge problem for her, because if everyone thinks that, hey, she's going to be the one, and she's going to be the one to kind of win the war for the good guys and so on and so forth, don't think it's going to be that easy. Now, I did have a few questions walking into the movie that I was, hoping to get answered. Well, walking out of movies anyway, and hoping that I would eventually get an answer, but I probably won't, to be honest. Now, first, Monica Rambeau, aka Photon, if you guys are familiar with the newer comics that are out today. Now, Monica is Maria's daughter, and Maria was Carol's best friend and the other pilot that worked alongside of, Mrs. Marvel before she got her powers. Now, just a little tidbit that I saw within the movie. Maria actually had Photon on her ship, so it said Maria Photon Rambeau. Now, I don't know if this is just like a cloud of foreshadowing, or if this is just them poking fun at us as Marvel fans, but hopefully we do get to see Photon later on in the future. I mean, 20 years pass, so Maria's Monica's a full adult at this point by the time we get to Endgame. Now, in addition to that, another question that I had was, will the Skrulls come back? And that's probably one of the biggest questions that anybody who knows who the Skrulls are, want to know. Will they come back? And at that, if they do come back, will they be a threat? Are we gonna see Secret Invasion turn into a movie? Now, I mean, I will pay hand over fist for that movie, but just don't mess it up, because there's a lot of people and a lot of heroes that were involved in that, and it's very easily to mess that up completely. Now, if you guys have been paying attention with what's going on with Disney and Marvel at the moment, they actually just confirmed and finalized the deal with Fox. So now a lot of the characters that we were missing to really complete the MCU, not Fox, but Disney owns. So they can pretty much do whatever they want after Endgame, which I'm super pumped for. Now, another question that I had: what happened to Goose the Cat? If you guys remember, Goose the Cat was the Flurkin that actually was kind of buddying up with Fury, but ended up eating the Tesseract at the end of the movie. Now, there's no way that Fury is gonna let the Tesseract disappear. But what happens here? You don't see the cat later on within the series, and that's kind of where my biggest concern was. The Tesseract puked up? Did the goose die, or like what happened? In addition to that, the test that Marvel, now not Captain Marvel, the lady that Carol Danvers was working with before she got her powers, she was working on a project called Pegasus. Now, Pegasus was something that Iron Man's dad was actually working on before he died. And to be honest, Iron Man actually spoke about Project Pegasus very briefly, but he spoke about it within the first Avengers and in Iron Man 2. And Guardians of the Galaxy, Quill talks about him hooking up with an aggressive Kree girl. In addition to that, if you've noticed, Captain Marvel and Quill's helmet kind of just phase on and off. They don't have to physically put it on. They press a button and it just completely disappears, which I think is really dope. But is that a coincidence, or have they met before? Also, in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Peter Quill and his comrades use the same device to teleport through space that the Kree use throughout the movie. Now, that's kind of pushing back towards, did Quill meet Marvel previously? If so, then hey, Endgame might actually progress pretty fast. Now, Hala, the Kree home planet was spoken of back in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and in Guardians of the Galaxy. So, I mean, that's really, really pushing the envelope in regards to, you know, the interaction that they've possibly had with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Fury actually used something that we saw in the movie. The inhibitor chip that was on Mar-Vell's neck. He used that in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to bring Coulson back. Now, Coulson is pretty much like, I don't know how to really describe him. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's like Fury's right-hand man, and he was actually in the movie. But that inhibitor chip that was used on him was actually used to suppress Captain Marvel's powers. Now, once she took that off, that's when she realized that, hey, she's a whole lot powerful than she thought she was. But that's a whole nother story. We'll probably see more about that a bit later on. Now, when it came to Fury's eye, and this is probably the most funny part of the movie that I saw, he made such a huge deal about his eye in the movies. And he stated that the last time he trusted someone, he lost an eye. Now, as we all know at this point, Goose the Cat is the reason his eye is gone. He said in the movie, "Hey, I trust you not to eat me." Now, if you remember in the Winter Soldier, very briefly, Fury takes off his eye patch, and you can actually see the claw mark directly over his eye. Now, that's pretty nice, because I mean, that shows that they were actually thinking when they made that movie, and they just didn't, show it as like use it as a way to kind of just show how badass Fury is. I mean, Fury is badass, don't get me wrong, but yeah, they actually connected it pretty well. Now, besides that, now we're gonna actually start talking about Endgame. There's a lot of different trailers. Well, actually, not a lot of different trailers. The second trailer actually just came out not too long ago, and it showed that the Avengers pretty much ended up getting Fury's pager that was calling Mar-Vell. What happens is, it goes off for a bit, no response, and then, hey, Captain America is pretty much like, try it again. We never know what's going to happen, try it again. And seconds later, Captain Marvel's there. And the one line that she says is simply, "Where's Fury?" Now, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I think that initial scene right there is going to cause some problems, because at this point, how does she know she can trust the Avengers? She's been gone for 20 years, probably 20 plus years, and doesn't know about anybody, not even Captain America himself. She was out, helping the Skrulls, kind of like end the Skrull Kree war. Now, is that war over? We have no idea. Now, in addition to that, some of what I feel, and some of what I'm kind of predicting in regards to everyone that's died so far, is I feel like they're actually within the Soul Stone. So they're not necessarily dead. Their being was just put into another place and is being stored there. Now, there have been a couple of theories that I have seen online that kind of interest me, to be honest, and some of those correlate between 1, Captain Marvel, 2, Iron Man, and 3, Ant-Man. Now, if you've seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, you saw that in that movie, they dropped down to a quantum level. Now, while they were in that quantum realm, they found Ghost, and this quantum energy was fused to her DNA, and she gained extra powers and was more powerful because of how long she was stuck down there. I'm pretty sure it was probably like 2-3 years, but for your body to condition, and at that, you not to die at that molecular level, shows a lot. And that shows that this can be potentially a cosmic power that we're not really speaking of or talking about. In addition to that, Iron Man and his tech, like his suit, his iron heart, that was made using the Tesseract. Can he use that same power to destroy the Space Stone? In the movie, in Infinity War, we saw that because, what was her name? Because Scarlet Witch, her powers originated from one of the stones, she was actually able to destroy one of them. And obviously, as we all know, Thanos turned back time and just made sure that whole thing didn't happen. Now, she has a power that's connected to one of the stones. Iron Man has a power that's connected to one of the stones. What happens if they break two of these gems? Who knows? I mean, obviously the Infinity Gauntlet won't be as powerful, but will that be enough for them to win against Thanos? Now, that's just, just what I'm thinking about right now. We have no idea how the movie's gonna go. I mean, we do have an actual date, and I do believe it's somewhere in April or May. I'll have the clip in the video in itself, so we'll actually get to see. But let me know what you guys think. I mean, this should be a great next few movies for Marvel. And like I said before, if you haven't seen Captain Marvel, definitely check it out. It was a good watch. I mean, I'm not gonna bash it. I mean, I've seen a lot of people on YouTube destroying the movie. I mean, it was a great movie. But besides that, this is your boy EnlightenedJiku here yet again with another, well, actually with the first of my few reviews of movies. Let me know what you think. Definitely drop a like, subscribe, and hey, tell your friends about it. Besides that, this is your boy EnlightenedJiku again. Peace.